have to say about homelessness. So I'm going to suggest a 5-minute break, and the city council press people can get themselves in order. And then if you'd like, if you need to leave now, you're welcome to leave. If you want to stay around, you're welcome to stay around. Does that sound, did I say it all right, Betsy? Okay, so 5-minute break, and then we'll reconvene.
No questions. Easiest appearance of the week. We just get to yak at people. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Did I cover it okay? Kind of where we are?
We're just trying to keep the thing going.
Yeah.
And yes, to have this, for this entity to hear that from you is good. Okay. I mean, I see it as a marathon, and you help get us to the next few blocks. Let's go a few more blocks. Let's go a few more blocks.
I don't really love running marathons, but you know.
Off the stage or just back? No, do you have another clip for that? That'd be swell. We're going to want this one on here because that one will be for question and answers. This one might fit. That one fits. We'll use the landline here and that for questions. So I'm going to need yours. So that we'll use that one for questions, and we'll need your lights again. Oh, thank you. Just don't need it. Check, check, check. Good. We'll use. Thank you. Back at you. So. That always works out swell. Thank you.
For the sake of time, we're going to start getting together. Hello, 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 hello. We're looking to get started here. Can I have all of my council members? Or, oh, you are. All right. We're ready to get started with our press conference. My name is Lisa Gardner. I'm the Director of Communications for Spokane City Council. Just wanted to let you know how the format will go. We are pressed for time, and I do apologize in advance. We are going to have our council president kick us off. Questions will be for the media. If time permits, we will open it up to the audience, but initially, the questions will be for the media. So with that, I'll turn it over to Council President.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Jeez. You know, I'm so glad to be here, and really we heard a lot of information this morning. But what I heard was it will take all of us, and no one group or one organization has the answers to the challenges that are facing our city. So I really want to thank you for coming out because we want to do this announcement. But before I get there, let me acknowledge my council member Bingle in the audience. Yes, my council member Klitsky is somewhere here, Councilmember Klitsky. And I want to take a very special opportunity to announce that our new police chief is in the room. Chief Hall, raise your hand. Thank you. And I am so honored that he is getting to learn our community because you have to show up to know what's going on. So there, get that out of the way. But really, I'm announcing that we'll be hosting these roundtables. And why are we hosting the roundtables? Because, as you have heard, to dispel some of the misinformation and miscommunication that is circulating in our community. The council writes ordinances. They are complex as the people that we are trying to help. So we want to invite people in to engage. Prop 1 is Prop 1. We're not discussing that. But the ordinances that are on the books of Spokane that address the people that we're trying to serve, we want your input. As I've told people, unless you're dead, it can be changed. So City Council is open to that. I want to also acknowledge my council member Lily Navarrete from District 2. Jarrell Hayes from the city's Office of Civil Rights Inclusion, and Commissioner Anwar Peace from the Human Rights Commission, and he'll be explaining the origin of the Homeless Rights Ordinance. Before I bring Commissioner Peace up, I want to make clear that homelessness is a very complex problem. We've heard it from every speaker in every group that's been up here today. And again, I say it will take a community to address that. But the challenges are just as unique as every person that we're trying to help in our city. So really, let's keep that in mind. And we're not going to politicize it. We're trying to educate and work together. So how did this come about? The Human Rights Commission had a resolution that was a direct response to incidents that members of our community directly experienced, saw, or heard through their work. And that work included discrimination in employment, hiring, housing, and use of public spaces. We are fully aware of the laws that prevent discriminatory practices. However, the laws do not extend to those experiencing homelessness. I will allow Commissioner Peace and Councilmember Navarrete to speak more about these details. After that, we will hear from Jarrell for his leadership and thank him for the Office of Civil Rights, and then we will open it up for questions. I will leave you with this because time is short. The quickest way to not be happy is to always compare yourselves to somebody else. We are not Seattle, we are not Boise, we are not Portland, we are not San Francisco, we are Spokane. We do things differently here, and we focus on what we can do in our community. So if you want to be happy, stop talking about what other folks are doing, and let's start talking about what we're doing here in Spokane. And more peace coming up.
Good morning. My name is Anwar Peace. I am the chair of the Human Rights Commission for the city of Spokane. Our commission is a 9-member commission of volunteers that give advice to city council about issues of human rights and civil rights. In 2023, our commission addressed homelessness by inviting 21 subject matter experts to give presentations at our monthly meetings. Those subject matter experts dealt with housing and homelessness, and some of those included Salvation Army, Revive Counseling, the NAACP, Frontier Behavioral Health, Jules Helping Hands, as well as Ben Stuckert and Gavin Cooley, who was supportive of our work related to homelessness. At that point, the Human Rights Commission tasked our Civic Impact Committee to go forward with evaluating how we could better support our homeless neighbors. And that's when our commission came across some laws that have been created in other states, 3 other states in fact, which were nicknamed a Homeless Bill of Rights. Those states include Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Illinois have passed such kind of resolutions. And so we as a commission went forward with drafting our resolution, which is known as a resolution concerning for human rights and basic dignity of individuals experiencing homelessness. It is the media that has nicknamed this the Homeless Bill of Rights, which I do appreciate because this bill basically does exactly that. It enunciates to the city that our homeless neighbors have the same civil rights that we all enjoy. So the right to congregate, the right to privacy, the right to be human in our community. And so with that, our resolution went forward to City Council, and I really applaud our City Council for going forward with our resolution and creating an ordinance. During this whole process, both the Human Rights Commission and the City Council has worked extensively with City Legal to make sure that this ordinance was correct and lawful. And so it is our belief as the Human Rights Commission that this ordinance should go forward to better protect the rights of our homeless neighbors. We as a commission were fully aware when we passed this in October. We weren't sure what administration we would be dealing with, but we were ready for the fight no matter who was in office. And so we are going forward with wanting to support the City Council's efforts on this. And we will also are wanting to give some concerns about why the business community decided to lash out the way that they did. In the business community's approach to this, it has been very striking that they are basically saying that our homeless neighbors should be treated as third-class citizens. We, as a Human Rights Commission, do not believe that, and we strongly encourage our business community to come to the table and actually come with solutions instead of fencing or other negative aspects. With that, I'd like to turn the podium over to our Human Rights Commission liaison, Councilmember Lily Navarrete.
Good morning, everyone. Civil rights, that's what we're talking about, basic, fundamental human rights. Thank you to Commissioner Pease for your commitment to the Human Rights Commission and for bringing forward this resolution. And as both Council President and Commissioner Pease mentioned, the ordinance provides protection and dignity to those experiencing homelessness. There are complex layers of homelessness for those who are unsheltered and to those who are living in shelters. We have different reasons for homelessness for those who age out of foster care and are escaping domestic violence, are unable to afford skyrocketing rents, and are now sleeping in their cars and RVs. No matter the situation or reasons of experiencing homelessness, they should have fundamental rights. The audacity to experience a barrier to employment because of their housing status is an insult to their progress out of homelessness. This ordinance does not have a direct fiscal element and doesn't commit any state, city, or federal dollars to any new programming. Again, it is to protect those who are unprotected in their journey of homelessness. If we want to help our unhoused folks, we need to give them jobs, and then we need to give them a place to live. Oftentimes when rights, civil rights are mentioned, some people don't like it. We need to stop that now. So this is a solution to our unhoused problem, and we need the help of everyone. I'm gonna turn it over to Gerald.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I promise to be really brief. I know we're tight on time, but my name is Jarrell Haynes, and I'm the director of the city's Office of Civil Rights, Equity, and Inclusion, which lives on the administration side of the house. And so our side of the house is responsible for implementing the laws and rules that City Council adopts and puts into place for the city of Spokane and its residents. Several years ago, our city council members were wise enough to create Title 18 protections and protected classes within the city of Spokane, classes ranging from domestic violence victim status, age, veteran status, race, gender, you name it, specifically in the areas of housing discrimination, employment discrimination, and public accommodations. Our office's job is to engage with community members and receive potential complaints of civil rights violations according to Title 18 or any other civil rights complaints, and connect those members with either the appropriate governmental organizations or entities, whether it be the Attorney General's office, the state's Human Rights Commission, or if they fall specifically as a law within our city code. We would then engage in investigations so that people can seek out the protections that they so deserve within our community. If anybody knows of people who may be victims of civil rights issues, please have them contact us, or you contact us on their behalf and help us get in contact with them so that they can file these complaints, so that we can track the appropriate data and discover exactly where our city needs to move in order to make sure everyone feels safe and protected here in our community. Please feel free to reach out to us. Our email is ocrei@spokanecity.org, and our phone number is 509-625-6510. Thank you.
Thank you, Jarrell, for that. And again, let me give you the information. The first roundtable is Tuesday, September the 10th. It's from 5:30 to 7 at the Central Library. After that, about 3 weeks will be the next roundtable. The first roundtable, we will be setting the table of the ordinances that are on the books to really help people understand what they are, what they do not do in accordance with the laws. So there will always be an educational component. We really want to hear from you. We know we write better ordinances when we hear from our community. So we are learning that painfully as we go along, because we do not have all the answers. There's a lot of misinformation, again, that's out in our community, what this is going to do, what it's not going to do. I will encourage you again, my call to action to you is, when you see something that is wrong, call it out. Do not, this is my phrase, don't drink the Kool-Aid. If it's misinformation, call them out, say that is wrong, that is not what that law or ordinance says. And if you can point them in the right direction, that will help our city grow better, and it will help us bridge that divide of, well, he said, she said, he said, they said, all of them said, but none of it was the right information. And so therefore, it's percolating in our community, and it is causing that schism that Zeke spoke about when he was up there, and how it has politicized us and how it has divided us from actually doing the work that needs to be done. So that's my call to action. That's the date and the location. At this point, I'll entertain a couple of questions before I have to go back to work at City Hall. Justice, yes.
So with the last administration, we saw there was a lot of videos that came out from city channels that were anti-homeless in nature. While I agree there's a personal responsibility for us to address things, I think there's also a responsibility of our local government and how they've actually perpetuated fear-mongering when it comes down to other citizens within our city who are unhoused. So what are we doing now to make sure the cultural change does happen, whether it be more videos from the city channels or what's happening this year to make sure that the homeless narrative just outside of these conversations is also getting corrected?
Thank you for that, Justice. Well, the first thing is there is a new city council. That would start with me, and there is a new mayor. I hope you're seeing that we are showing up and standing up and speaking up for things that are happening in our community where, and I would say I could have been part of the problem, I was too silent on the issues that are facing our community. We know we were elected to represent you, and that means you, and that means homeless people, and that means business people. And so we hear a lot coming at us, but we are trying to be as inclusive and speak out on everybody's behalf. That's the job that we were elected to do. So I will encourage you all, y'all can call us out too. Council President, where you at? Really, that's my invitation to you. And then do the same thing to the business leaders. Ask them where they at. So that's how I can move forward, Justice. It is an individual thing. Other council members may respond differently. I can only speak for myself this morning. Anything else?
Why do you think the misinformation about the ordinance spread so quickly?
Boy, that's a really good question, and I can only say those that have more resources were able to get that information out there more quickly than those that do not. When you are running, I would say, full-page ads in the paper repeatedly over several weeks, and they have not heard the other side of the story, I think that was a challenge. I will say I think we waited too long to really speak up because there was a void, and people kept filling the void with what they thought the ordinance was. So I think that's part of the question right there. I'll entertain another question. If I get to get off easy, I'll take it. Yes?
Can you give us an example of 2 or 3 things that would change if this ordinance passes?
Well, let me start with one thing. We are reviewing the ordinances that address this population. Some of them overlap, and let's be honest, some of them we can't enforce, or we can't afford to enforce it as the way the community would like them to be enforced. So really, we're looking at the reality of what's on the books. And it's not just around homelessness. I have charged my staff, we got a lot of laws on the books that need to be reviewed, and some of them need to be repealed. I think that is the biggest thing right there. And the biggest thing is how we educate the community. And now I'm gonna lob this back out there to you people in the media world. How are you showing up and educating the community? Do you know the number of people who do not understand our own city government? That's on y'all. We have an ownership. They don't know the role of the administration, nor do they know the role of council. I cannot fix a pothole because I can't direct staff. We do laws and we do budget. So y'all help us educate our community on really the political environment and structure that we have to operate in. Barry, did you have your hand up or you were just waving? Oh, you're pointing at him. Okay, I'm pointing at him. Anything else? Anything from council members? All right, thank you again. I hope you join us on Tuesday, September the 10th. I know that's a debate night, but y'all can record the debate. Y'all can record it. Y'all come on down to the library because we really want to hear from you. And by you showing up, that will really help us affect the change that needs to happen in Spokane. Thank you all for your time, and I will see you at a round table or a meeting or something else soon. All right, have a good one.